The wedding I never wanted to attend. The invitation that ruined my morning. The sun had barely climbed over the rooftops when I heard 3 knocks on my apartment door, short, sharp, and impatient. I was still in my pajamas, sipping lukewarm coffee and scrolling through job listings on my tablet. Life hadn't been easy lately, but at least the quiet mornings helped me breathe. "Hold on," I called out. When I opened the door, my cousin Talia stood there, smiling as if she owned the entire building. Her curly hair bounced around her shoulders, and her perfume hit me before her words did. "Cameron, you're going," she said without greeting. I blinked. "Going where?" "The wedding," she replied, pushing past me into the living room. "Jasmine's wedding." I froze. The name alone made my chest tighten. Jasmine, my ex. The woman I once thought I would build a life with. The woman who walked out on me as if 3 years meant nothing. "I'm not going," I said, shutting the door. Talia rolled her eyes dramatically. "You say that now. But Aunt Renee wants the whole family there. And besides," she lifted a silver envelope, waving it like a winning lottery ticket. "She personally invited you." My heartbeat jumped. I took the envelope, staring at the glittery lettering. Jasmine and Malcolm, a new beginning. My throat burned. "Wow. A new beginning," I muttered. "That's cute." Talia sat on the couch and crossed her legs. "Look, Cam, I know it's weird. I know it hurts. But sometimes showing up is the best way to prove you've moved on." "I haven't moved on," I snapped before I could stop myself. "Or maybe I was close, until this showed up." She sighed gently. "I get it. But you can't hide forever." I dropped onto the chair opposite her. Why would she even invite me? "Maybe she thinks you're friends now," Talia said. "We're not. Or maybe she wants closure." "I don't need closure," I said. "I need distance." Talia leaned forward. "Cameron, you're strong. Stronger than you think. Going to this wedding won't break you." I rubbed my forehead. "It might." There was a long silence. The kind that sits heavy in the room, making the air thick. Then Talia whispered, "She's marrying Malcolm Carter." My head snapped up. "What?" "The same Malcolm that works with your company's regional manager." Heat rushed to my face. Malcolm, smooth-talking, flashy, smug Malcolm. A man I never liked. A man who made sure everybody knew he was better than them. And Jasmine was marrying him. I stood up and paced the room. This is insane. Completely insane. Talia watched me with sympathetic eyes. "I know it's complicated. But think about it. Showing up might actually help you let go." I stopped pacing and stared at the invitation. The silver envelope felt heavier than metal, heavier than my emotions, heavier than the memories Jasmine left behind. "I'll think about it," I finally said. "That's all I'm asking." Talia stood, smoothing her dress. "The wedding is in 2 weeks. Let me know before then." She walked to the door, but before leaving, she turned back. "Cam, don't let the past control you. Sometimes the things we don't want to face are the things that free us the most." And with that, she was gone. I sank back onto the couch, the invitation still in my hand. My coffee had gone cold, my plans for the morning forgotten, and my heart, well, it didn't know how to feel. All I knew was this. The wedding I never wanted to attend had just walked straight into my life. The invitation sat on my coffee table like a newborn problem I didn't ask for. I kept glancing at it, hoping it would disappear on its own. But the silver envelope stayed right where Talia placed it, bold, shiny, and threatening my peace. I tried to distract myself. I cleaned the kitchen. I reorganized the books on my shelf. I even watered the plant I kept forgetting existed. Nothing worked. My mind kept circling back to one question. Why would Jasmine invite me? By noon, the apartment felt too small for my thoughts. I grabbed my jacket and headed to the park nearby. The cold December air slapped my face the moment I stepped outside, forcing me to take deeper breaths. Kids were playing on the swings. A group of older men argued over chess like it was a matter of national security. The world was moving, but inside me, time felt stuck. I sat on a bench. And that's when the memories hit me. Cam, don't forget the lemon cake. Jasmine's voice echoed in my head. Bright, sweet, full of life. We were in my old kitchen, baking for her sister's birthday. She had flour on her cheeks and laughed every time she messed up the mixing bowl. I remembered how she leaned into my shoulder and whispered, I like doing life with you. My chest tightened. Another memory rushed in. This one darker. Cameron, you're not listening, Jasmine had said, arms folded, frustration rising like smoke. I am listening, I replied. You just want things I can't give you right now. She looked at me with eyes full of storm clouds. You don't want to grow. You're too comfortable. Comfortable. I had laughed bitterly. I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. It's not enough, she whispered. 2 weeks later, she left. No warning. No long talk. Just a message on my phone. I think we want different things. I swallowed hard on the park bench, my hands trembling in my lap. Why did my mind hold on to every detail like it was yesterday? A voice interrupted my spiraling. Yo, Cam. Is that you? I looked up to see Marcus, my childhood friend, jogging toward me. He was sweating, breathing hard, and still looked better than me emotionally. What's up, man? He said, sitting next to me. You look like someone told you rent just doubled. I forced a smile. Worse. Oh boy. Marcus leaned back. Talk to me. I hesitated, then sighed. I got invited to Jasmine's wedding. Marcus's eyes widened. Jasmine? As in Jasmine. The one and only. He whistled. Damn. That's cold. I shrugged helplessly. I don't even know why she invited me. Marcus didn't sugarcoat things, which was one thing I appreciated. Maybe she wants to show you she's happy. People do weird stuff. That's messed up, I muttered. It is, he agreed. So what you gonna do? I don't know. Talia thinks I should go. Marcus laughed. Talia loves drama. Of course she wants you to go. I chuckled despite myself. True. Marcus nudged my shoulder. Real talk though, you showing up doesn't make you weak. Sometimes facing something ugly is the only way to stop it from haunting you. I stared at the kids on the playground. Their laughter sounded like freedom. You think I'm still haunted? I asked softly. Marcus didn't hesitate. Bro, look at your face. You're not just haunted, you're living in her ghost house. I laughed again, but the truth of his words stung. So what do? I asked. He stood up, stretching. Whatever helps you breathe again. If going gives you closure, go. If staying away gives you peace, stay away. Then he pointed at my chest. But whatever you choose, let it be for you, not for her. I watched him jog away, his words echoing loud. For the first time all day, something shifted inside me. Maybe I didn't need to decide today. Maybe I just needed to understand why the thought of that wedding scared me so much. That evening, I sat at my kitchen table eating leftover pasta that tasted like nothing. My mind wasn't on the food. It was on something Marcus said earlier. You're living in her ghost house. The words stayed with me long after he left. I didn't want to admit he was right, but maybe he was. Maybe a part of me was still walking through old rooms, rooms where her laughter lived, where our plans lived, where my hopes lived. Around 8 p.m., my phone buzzed. Talia, you okay? I stared at the message before replying. Me, thinking. She sent a heart emoji, then wrote, if you don't go, we can spend that Saturday watching movies and roasting everyone's outfits online. I smiled. That was Talia, always ready to create another path if one felt too painful. Before I could respond, my phone rang. It was Mom. Baby, you sound tired, she said once I picked up. I'm all right, I replied. You're lying. I can hear it in your breathing. Mothers. They always know. I got an invitation, I said quietly. To what? Jasmine's wedding. There was silence, then a soft exhale. Oh, Cameron. Yeah. That's how I felt too. She cleared her throat. Listen to me. You don't owe that girl anything. Not attendance. Not strength. Not closure. I know. But you owe yourself peace. If going there disrupts your healing, don't go. If staying home traps you in more memories, then maybe going helps. I haven't healed, I whispered. That's okay, she said gently. Healing doesn't follow a calendar. But you're further than you think. I rubbed my eyes. Why did she invite me, Mom? Some people want their past to witness their new future, she said. Even when it's selfish. Her words landed heavily. We talked a little longer, then she prayed for me. The moment the call ended, I felt lighter, but the decision still weighed on me. As I washed my plate, an unexpected realization tugged at my heart. I wasn't afraid of seeing Jasmine. I was afraid of seeing the version of myself I used to be when I loved her. The boy who gave too much. The man who wasn't enough. The partner who kept trying even when the distance grew. Facing her meant facing who I was. And maybe, who I no longer wanted to be. The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual. I made coffee, opened every window in the apartment, and tried to organize my thoughts the same way I organized my space. Calmly, slowly, methodically. But by noon, I found myself standing in front of my bedroom closet staring at a navy blue suit. The suit I bought for Jasmine's cousin's wedding 2 years ago. The same suit Jasmine said made me look like a man destined for success. The same suit I swore I'd never wear again after she walked out of my life. I touched the sleeve, and memories hit me like water from a fire hydrant. I remembered Jasmine straightening my collar. I remembered her kissing my cheek. I remembered her telling me, "We look good together." But did we? Or was that just something I wanted to believe? As I stood there, my phone rang again. This time, it was Uncle Ray. "Cam, my boy," he boomed. "Heard about the wedding." I closed my eyes. "Of course you did. You going?" "Not sure yet." "Well, let me give you uncle-level wisdom," he said. "Never run from a moment that can set you free." I sighed. Why is everyone talking to me in riddles? Because the truth sounds better when we poeticize it, he laughed. But seriously, go if you can handle it. Don't go if you can't. I hung up after a few minutes, still unsure. Later that afternoon, something strange happened. I found myself ironing the suit. I didn't decide to go. I didn't decide not to go. I just ironed it. Maybe part of me was preparing, not for the wedding itself, but for the possibility of closure. By evening, the suit hung neatly on my door, mocking me, challenging me, daring me. Then came another message, this time from a number I hadn't saved but recognized instantly. Jasmine. My stomach tightened. Her text read, "Hi Cameron. I hope you're well. I just wanted to say, it would mean a lot if you came." I stared at the message for minutes, maybe hours. Why would it mean a lot? To her? To me? Before I could overthink, she sent another message. No pressure. Just, it would give me peace. She wanted peace. But what about mine? I put my phone down, took a deep breath, and looked at the suit again. Maybe tomorrow I'd know what to do. Maybe tomorrow would make the decision for me. One thing was clear. Whether I attended or not, this wedding had already changed something inside me. The night before the wedding felt heavier than any night I'd lived through in years. I left the suit hanging on my bedroom door and tried not to look at it, but it was impossible. Every time I walked past it, my chest tightened, like the fabric itself carried memories I wasn't ready to hold. I tried watching TV. Nothing made sense. I tried reading. The words blurred. I tried sleeping. My thoughts kept pacing like restless feet. Around 11 p.m., I finally stepped outside for fresh air. The apartment complex was quiet, just the hum of streetlights and the distant sound of a passing car. I stood by the railing and let the December breeze brush against my skin. That's when my neighbor Mrs. Hawkins appeared, wearing a robe and holding her tiny dog. "Cameron," she said softly, "you've been pacing all evening. What's wrong?" She was one of those women who could sense tension through walls. I hesitated. "I got invited to my ex's wedding." "Oh no," she sighed. "That's emotional warfare." I laughed despite myself. "Exactly." She shifted her dog to the other arm. "Do you want to go?" "I don't know," I said honestly. "Part of me wants to prove I'm okay. Another part of me feels like showing up would break something inside me." She nodded slowly. "When my husband married his second wife, I thought attending the wedding would give me closure. I sat there, smiled at everyone, ate cake, and then cried myself to sleep." I turned to her, surprised. "So I shouldn't go?" She smiled sadly. "I didn't say that. I just want you to understand something. Closure doesn't happen in front of people. It happens when you're alone with truth." Her words settled deep. She patted my arm, then walked away. "Follow the choice that lets you sleep tomorrow night." I stayed outside for another hour, thinking, what choice would let me sleep? What choice would let me breathe? Around 1 a.m., I finally went inside. I didn't look at the suit this time, but when I closed my eyes, I saw Jasmine's face. Her smile. Her soft voice. Her message, "It would mean a lot if you came." I whispered into the darkness, "But what about what I need?" A question with no answer. I eventually fell asleep, not knowing that the next day would change everything I thought I understood about myself, about her, and about the past I had been trying to outrun. My alarm went off at 8 a.m., but I'd already been awake for half an hour. There was a quiet stillness in the room, as if the world knew I had a decision to make. I sat on the edge of the bed for a long time. Then I stood, walked to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, looked at myself in the mirror. "You're not the same Cameron she left," I whispered. And I wasn't. Something about the emotional storm of the past 2 days had carved new strength into me. By 9 a.m., I surprised myself. I was ironing my shirt again, checking my shoes, brushing my hair with more care than usual. I didn't consciously choose to go. My body moved before my mind agreed. At 11 a.m., I stepped out of my apartment dressed in the navy blue suit I once swore I'd never wear again. As I walked toward the parking lot, I heard a voice. "Hot damn. Look at Mr. Movie Star." I turned to see Marcus leaning against his car, grinning. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "Picking you up. Talia said you'd need backup." I rolled my eyes. "So she sent a clown?" "Exactly," he laughed. "A very handsome clown." I shook my head, but his presence eased my tension. We got into his car, and as he drove, he kept glancing at me. "You sure you're ready for this?" he asked. "No," I admitted. "But I'm going anyway." He nodded. "Good. Because sometimes not being ready is how you grow." The closer we got to the venue, a large glass-walled event center downtown, the tighter my stomach became. Cars filled the parking lot. Guests in bright colors and expensive suits were walking toward the entrance. When Marcus parked, he put a hand on my shoulder. "You walk in, you breathe, you stay 10 minutes if you want. You owe nobody a performance." I exhaled shakily. 10 minutes. Maybe less. We stepped out of the car. The cold breeze hit my face. Music drifted from inside the building. People were laughing, smiling, hugging. I felt completely out of place. But my feet kept moving. Inside the glass doors, the lobby opened into a bright hall decorated with white flowers and golden lights. Wedding staff moved around, directing people to their seats. Then I saw her. Jasmine, standing near the entrance to the ceremony hall, wearing a simple but stunning white dress, talking with someone. She looked peaceful, lighter, different. My heart punched my chest once, hard. Marcus looked at me. You good? I swallowed. Ask me again in 5 minutes. We walked forward. Jasmine turned. Her eyes landed on mine. Everything inside me froze. For a moment, the room faded. The voices, the music, the footsteps, they all fell into a quiet blur. It was just me and Jasmine standing on opposite ends of a memory that never fully healed. She smiled. Soft. Hesitant. A little nervous. Cameron, she whispered. I hadn't heard my name from her lips in almost a year. It felt strange. Too familiar and too foreign at the same time. Hi, I said, my voice steadier than my heartbeat. She took a small step toward me. You look good. Thanks, I replied. You too. Marcus cleared his throat loudly beside me, reminding us we were very much not alone. Oh, hi Marcus, Jasmine said politely. Hey, he replied, giving her a nod that said I'm watching you. Jasmine glanced back at me. I wasn't sure you would come. I wasn't sure either, I admitted. There was a flicker in her eyes. Relief, maybe. Or gratitude. Or something I didn't have the energy to decode. I'm glad you're here, she said softly. Before I could respond, someone called her name. One of the wedding coordinators hurried toward her with a clipboard. Jasmine, we need you for final photos. They're ready. She turned to me again. Can we talk later? Just for a moment. I hesitated. Did I want to? Could I handle it? Sure, I said eventually. She smiled, small but real, then hurried off. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Bro, you okay? I don't know, I breathed. He placed a hand on my back. We can leave right now if you want. I shook my head. No. I think I need to see this through. We walked into the ceremony hall. It was stunning. Tall white pillars wrapped in soft lights, a ceiling draped with flowers, and rows of chairs filled with guests dressed like they were attending the Oscars. We found seats near the back. As more guests entered, I heard bits of conversation. Malcolm really pulled off a beautiful event. Jasmine looks incredible. They make such a perfect couple. Perfect. The word felt sharp. I tried to focus on breathing. In again. Then the music shifted. Everyone stood. Jasmine began walking down the aisle, arm in arm with her mother, radiant, calm, floating. People whispered. Cameras flashed. But my eyes didn't follow the dress or the decor. They followed her expression. Was she happy? Truly happy? I searched for certainty in her smile but found only layers I couldn't read. Halfway down the aisle, her eyes briefly met mine. Just for a second. Just long enough to send electricity through my spine. Then she looked away. And that was when it hit me. No matter how beautiful this moment was, I was a visitor in a chapter she finished writing. The ceremony began with soft music and warm words from the officiant. I sat back, hands folded, doing everything possible to steady myself. Marcus whispered, "You want to step out?" I shook my head. "I'm okay." I wasn't. But I needed to be. The bridesmaids glided down the aisle. The groomsmen lined up. The officiant smiled politely as the murmurs settled. Then Malcolm walked forward, tall, confident, wearing a suit that probably cost more than my rent. He looked at Jasmine with a kind of certainty I once wished I had. The officiant began the opening remarks. Marriage is a bond between two people who choose each other. I exhaled slowly. Chose. That word stung. Jasmine once chose me too. Until she didn't. The vows began. Malcolm spoke first. "Jasmine, from the moment I met you, I knew your heart was different. Kind, brave, honest." I looked down at my hands. He continued, voice deep and steady. I promise to support you, protect you, grow with you, and love you for the rest of my life. Guests sniffled. Cameras clicked. Someone whispered, "That man loves her." Then it was Jasmine's turn. She looked at Malcolm with eyes full of gentleness. "Malcolm, you brought peace into my life when everything felt confusing. You taught me stability. You showed me a different kind of love." Different. My throat tightened. She continued, "I promise to stand with you, learn with you, laugh with you, and build a life where we are each other's safe place." The words washed over the room. People smiled. A few cried. But me. I sat completely still. Not because her vows hurt, but because something inside me finally shifted. As she spoke, I felt the truth settle inside my chest like a soft weight. She hadn't chosen him instead of me. She had chosen the version of life that fit who she became, not who she was when we were together. And maybe, just maybe, we weren't meant to grow in the same direction. My heart didn't break. It released. Silently, gently, without drama. When the officiant said, "You may now kiss the bride," and Malcolm leaned in, I looked away, not out of pain but out of respect. For her journey, and for mine. Marcus leaned close. "You good." This time, when I said, "Yeah," I meant it. For the first time in a long while. I felt free. After the ceremony, guests poured into the reception hall, laughing, hugging, taking pictures. The room was beautiful. Golden lights, long tables decorated with white roses, a dance floor glowing softly in the center. I wasn't sure how long I planned to stay. 10 minutes, maybe 15. Long enough to say I came, short enough to avoid drowning in nostalgia. Marcus nudged me. "Food smells good. Want a plate?" "I'm not hungry," I said. "Bro, you're always hungry." "Not today." He sighed. "All right. I'll grab something. Don't go anywhere." As he disappeared into the crowd, I stayed near the back, watching people celebrate. Everyone looked so alive. So present. I felt like a shadow in someone else's story. That's when I felt a tap on my arm. I turned. Jasmine. She was no longer glowing from being a bride. Now she looked nervous. Her hands were clasped in front of her, her eyes unsure. "Can we talk now?" she asked quietly. I nodded and followed her to a quieter corner behind a pillar near the floral wall. She took a breath. "I meant what I said earlier. I'm glad you came." "Yeah," I muttered. "I didn't think I'd actually show up. Honestly, I didn't think you would either." We both laughed lightly, awkward, fragile. Then she looked at me, expression softening. "I'm sorry for how everything ended, Cameron." Those words stunned me. "I should have handled things better," she continued. "I should have talked to you instead of walking away when things got difficult." I swallowed hard. I wasn't perfect either. "No," she said gently. "But you loved me with everything you had. I saw that. I never doubted that." I had to look away for a moment. She kept talking. "But I changed. My goals changed. And I didn't know how to fit us into that new version of my life." "I know," I whispered. "And I don't blame you anymore." She blinked quickly, fighting tears. "I wanted you here today," she said, "because you were a big part of my life. A good part. And I didn't want the story of me becoming who I am now to feel like it erased you." I clenched my jaw to keep my emotions steady. "I'm not erased," I said. "And you're not a chapter 1 regret." A tear slid down her cheek. "Thank you." We stood there quietly. After a moment, I added, "You look happy." "I am," she replied. "And I want you to be happy too." "I will be," I said. "Eventually." She smiled, relieved. "Good." Before she walked away, she touched my arm lightly. "Thank you for giving me peace today." I nodded. "You too." And just like that, A door inside me that had been stuck for months finally opened. Silently, gently, completely. After my conversation with Jasmine, I felt strangely calm. Like a storm had passed and left quiet skies behind. Marcus returned with 2 plates of food. "Bro, where'd you disappear to?" I talked to Jasmine. He almost dropped the plates. "You what?" I shrugged. She wanted to talk. And it was good. Marcus squinted at me like he wasn't sure if I was joking. Good as in I'm okay now, or good as in I'm about to do something dramatic? "I'm okay," I said with a small smile. "Actually okay." He exhaled dramatically. "Thank God. I was ready to drag you out by your tie." We sat at a small corner table. Marcus ate. I didn't. I just watched people dancing, laughing, clinking glasses. Jasmine and Malcolm moved around the room greeting guests, looking like 2 people who had found exactly what they wanted. And I wasn't angry. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't heartbroken. I was simply present. After a while, I leaned over to Marcus. "I think I'm ready to go." He wiped his mouth. "Yeah. You sure?" "Yeah." We stood and walked toward the exit. Halfway there, Jasmine's mother stopped me. "Cameron," she said, touching my arm. "Thank you for coming. Jasmine was really happy to see you." I nodded politely. "I'm glad." She squeezed my hand. "You're a good man. Don't let this make you think otherwise." Her words warmed something inside me. As we stepped outside, the cold air hit my face, refreshing and real. Marcus took a deep breath. "Well," he said, "that wasn't a disaster." "No," I replied. "It wasn't." We reached his car. Before I got in, I paused and glanced back at the building. Lights glowed through the windows. Music drifted out. Life was happening inside those walls, a life that no longer belonged to me. And that was okay. Really okay. Marcus opened the car door. "Ready?" I nodded. More ready than I've been in a long time. As we drove away, I felt something inside me settle. Not broken. Not bitter. Just free. For the first time since the breakup, I wasn't carrying the weight of what could have been. I was walking, finally, toward what could still be.